Because this speech is focused on fetal development and not the conception of a fetus, we will begin discussing what happens to the fetus during the 5th week of pregnancy. Most women do not even know that they are pregnant until about week 6. The 5th week of pregnancy marks the beginning of the embryonic period. This is when the embryo's major organ systems begin to develop. During this week, the cells divide and begin to take on the tasks of organs, external features begin to develop, and the gastrointestinal tract starts to form. The umbilical cord connects the baby to its mother's body and will provide it with nutrients for the next several months. It is during this week in the first trimester that the embryo is most at risk for birth defects that can be caused by alcohol, smoking, or medications. At this point, the embryo looks more like a tadpole than a human. Although it is only approximately the size of a sesame seed, this embryo is well on its way to becoming a baby. During week 6 and 7, the arms and legs begin to form. The heartbeat becomes regular, and the blood begins to pump throughout the main vessels. During week 8, the lungs begin to form. By week 9, the fetus can get the hiccups, and in week 10, the arms and toes can be seen. The outer ears are forming, and facial features are becoming more distinct. The embryo also develops eyelids during this week. At the end of the 10th week of pregnancy, the baby is no longer considered an embryo but a fetus, which it will be referred to until birth. It also begins to resemble a human more than a tadpole. By the 11th and 14th weeks of pregnancy, the second trimester begins, and the fetus now has a nearly fully formed face. The baby can make a fist, and its head now makes up for nearly half of the size of its body. It is during this period that the genitals form. If the baby is a female, she will already have more than 2 million eggs in her ovaries. The liver has begun to function during these weeks. In weeks 15 through 18, the baby's skin is transparent, and you can see all of the baby's vital organs and veins. Muscles and bones are more substantial, and therefore the fetus gains mobility. The baby can now make sucking motions, which will be vital during the first few hours of life after birth. Weeks 19 and 21 bring better development of the ears, which means that the baby can now hear. The baby continues to become more and more mobile, and this is about the first time when mothers can feel their baby kicking for the first time. The baby also develops another vital survival reflex, swallowing. By week 22, the baby's entire body is covered with a very fine hair. This is also the time period in which the baby grows its eyebrows and eyelashes. Better developed muscles means the baby is becoming more and more active and getting ready for life outside of the womb. This is also usually the first time that a baby's heartbeat can be heard with a stethoscope. In the next few weeks, the baby's lungs continue to develop, and red blood cells are now being produced in the bone marrow. The baby is now responsive to loud noises and can be startled. The eyes are fully formed, and he or she can now open and close their eyes at will. By week 31, the bones in the fetus are now fully developed, but are still soft and will continue to form throughout the first year of life. The baby is now growing at a more rapid speed and will continue to gain weight in the next few weeks. By weeks 35 to 37, the baby is now the length he or she will be at birth. Fat begins to form and fill out the skin, and the baby does not look as wrinkled. Sleeping patterns have been formed, and the vascular system is now fully developed. After week 37, the baby loses the fine hair that covered its body, except on the upper arms. The baby moves into a downward position and prepares for birth. The baby will continue to gain weight until he is born, which can be at any point after 38 weeks. The baby becomes roughly the size of a small pumpkin by week 40, and is now about 20 inches long. The baby's skull bones have not yet fused together, which will allow him or her to squeeze through the birth canal. Between conception and birth, the tiny fetus has grown from a single cell into a fully functional tiny human in a short 38 to 40 weeks.